How you doing, guys? Moonchild back here for a review, and today we are going to be looking at the RBA section for the Delta 2. Let's take a look. Today we're going to be looking at the RBA section for the Joyetech Delta 2 subohm tank. As you can tell, it's the rebuildable atomizer head that you can buy separately. I bought this from Bongo Vapes and it cost me around £6. And I've been I've not overly been enjoying it. I like the aspect and I like the idea behind it, but I don't think this one works. Not without modifying it anyway. I don't know how close I can get this, but just in, you can see there, like little indentation at the bottom, without dropping it. You know, that's where your juice comes in. So we'll take it apart. It's like a free cap sort of design. So you got a top cap, which is there. I mean, I'm going to show you this a little bit closer anyway, but you get the idea. I could just smash the camera, it's fine. And you take off your main body, and as I said, like there's your juice channels. And I find them quite small, and I think the airflow is more restricted as well. When you look at this compared to a coil, like the pre-built coils, the actual airflow system looks the same, but I'm getting a tighter draw from using the RBA section. When we go down to the table, I'm going to show you just a quick coil method, just how Joyetech, to say, rebuilt this. Yeah, like I was saying, I'm finding it a really restrictive draw, and the way that Joyetech, say, build it, I don't actually think it's an easy way of building it. Rich Rippers did a rebuild for his chimney coil, and I've tried that. That's a lot easier. It's a little bit mucking about, but it slots in easier, and it's like, let me just rip this cotton out and then just get juice everywhere. I don't know how well that's going to come across, but you can see the way that the coil's coming across, like the coil's centered, but it's coming down and back into like the little post holes. Like you got to poke it into the post holes either side, and it makes sense, but it also makes sense to just use it like a K-fun and, you know, just tuck it under the screws. But hey, it's different, isn't it? It's different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe my hands of the juice that I've just put all over them, and then we'll take it down to the table and I'll show you a closer look, and I'll see if I can't muck up another coil for you. So I'll see you down at the table. So this is how your Joyetech Delta 2 RBA section will come to you. As you can see, it's in this nice little box, Delta 2 RBA head. Joyetech's logo all around it. There's no sort of authenticity sort of scratch or barcode. I mean, you've got your general barcode, but obviously that's not it. Made in China, and some safety warnings. But I did like the packaging to come with this. So obviously that's your RBA section. We'll move that out of the way for a second. Inside, we did get quite some good goodies. We got some camphor wire. Let's actually show you. We've got some camphor wire. I think that was about a 26 gauge, I'm not too sure. Our old mate, the blue screwdriver, we all know and love that one. And there is a pre-built coil in there as well. This is the one I'm gonna take the cotton out of it, show you how Joyetech want you to sort of like the best way to build it, and we'll put this one in and we'll vape it later. Also inside, they proper set you up. You've got some Japanese cotton, just a sheet of Japanese cotton apparently, a sheet of Japanese cotton, and then, you know, like a little manual of how to build it, and, you know, priming the coil before vaping it, and there was some spare screws in there when I got it, but I don't know where they went. So let's move all this stuff out of the way. And this is your head. Very reminiscent of obviously a the pre-built coils for the Delta 2, and obviously the other RBA sections in subohm tanks, like the old Kanga subohm tanks, because the new RBA section is a little bit smaller because you had to change out the chimneys. So, but yeah, we're not talking about the Kanga sub tank, are we? So yeah, we'll break this down and we can show you the deck. So as before, top cap, main tube. This is all the threads on this is lovely. Stainless steel. I would assume 304 grade stainless steel. Again, like I said, threads are lovely. My only niggle is the size of the screws, but it's a tiny little deck anyway. Even the blue screwdriver I found sort of struggles a little bit sometimes, like just catching into the notches. Like I said, same sort of airflow at the bottom. It feels more restrictive though, I don't know why. That might just be me. But, you know, hey ho. And there's the size of the holes you've got for if you build this like Joyetech say, you know, like post it through them holes. They're not very big at all. And I find that it wicks well enough to vape, but it doesn't wick as effectively as the pre-built coils, obviously, because the pre-built coils are, you know, you got your holes in the side. But I just don't find it wicks as efficiently as a pre-built coil, especially if you're building this what it's meant for as a subohm tank. I find that this cuts down the actual premise of a subohm tank. Like I said, the coil I've taken out of that recently was a 0.6, and I could not get it anywhere near the wattage I would have on a 0.5 ohm pre-built coil. I mean, once the coil's been broken in on a pre-built one, I'm 35 to sort of 39 watts on a 0.6 ohm coil. Wicking this as effectively as I could, you know, like not trying to block the juice channels, you know, keeping it free, and you know, like fuffing it up and getting it. I was only down to sort of, don't know, I think the highest I got was about 22, 23 watts, which again, like, it's still a good amount of vapour and flavour, but I like a warmer vape, and I wasn't getting a satisfactory vape. It was still a nice vape and I could do it, but it wasn't, you know, I wouldn't have written home about it. So that's enough babbling. Let's see if we can't rebuild this sucker. So I'll see you in a second. So this, I'm slightly going to cheat. I'm going to use the pre-built coil that it come with, just so you can see it. If I can keep the cotton in, I will. Just because I know it's fresh cotton, it's not been anywhere, so it's not picked up anything nasty. But as you can see, it's you know, you got your wraps through the middle, and then your leads, as if you was going to build a K-fun. So your leads go off one way and the other way. Let's turn it around that way. So yeah, if anyone's ever built a K-fun, and you know, you got your lead, you know, you sits flat, you lead one way to lead the other way. As you can see with this one, they've sort of opposite sided bent it, so the lead's gone off that way, and then they've bent it around, so you've got a 45-degree angle there, and then the same again on the other side, but they've 45-degreed it the other way. So it's almost like it's folded back on itself, so when you look at it, you got like a rectangle. It's the only way I can sort of explain it. So yeah, that's the sort of coil build that you'll be looking for. So let's see if we can't get this in. So I think what we're going to need is, I've taken off the top cap and the main barrel. Let's get the Delta 2 deck obviously cleaned out and, you know, wiped and all the good stuff that you do to an atomizer before you rebuild it, which I'm assured all of you do. Let's take the RBA deck, get that screwed in. Right. I might veer off in and out of shot because I've not built this too many times, so on camera it's not going to be the easiest. So there you go. Well, we'll undo the post hole screws. Be sure not to undo them too much or they will wobble out and you're going to lose them. And like I said, if you're going to buy this, you do get some spare ones, but like I said already, I can't find my spare ones, so that's going to be fun. Now, I'm not sure, right, all I'm thinking is we'll have to, because you want your coil to sit that way on, so as you can see, you know, all the leads are ready and raring to go in the holes. If I lift it up, there you go. That's just resting on top, so I don't want to breathe too heavy because it's a bit of cotton. So I'll move it around to my side. We'll get the first one in, and then we'll tighten that down, and then we can muck about moving the coil around and getting it leveled and centered and stuff afterwards. So just hold that in with your finger, get it tightened. Same again with the other side. I'm trying to do this so it's not out of shot, but I'm not really looking at the camera. That screw needs to come up a little bit more. Sorry guys, 2 secs. Oh, Houston, we got a problem. Canfield's bent a little bit. Let's unbend it at the end. There we go. Right, she's in. Tighten it down quickly. Can't find the hole. That's what she said. Right, we're tightened. So, try and move some of this cotton out of the way, so you can see what's going on. If you can see that effectively. What I might do in a second, I mean it's quite high, and I'd prefer one a little bit lower. So I'm going to try and drop that down a little bit. Sorry guys. I've got a bit of a dry throat. I'm getting over the man flu, you see. So I've got a drink just out of shot. So if I stop talking for a second, it's not because I don't like you. Yeah, these tighten down a little bit more. There we go. There we go. I think that's going to do, you know. I don't think that's too high. Obviously you don't want it touching, otherwise you're going to create a short and you're going to, you know, oh, nearly dropped it. I've nearly done a whole video about dropping something, so don't start on me now. Yeah, so again, you don't want it too close, you don't want it touching, otherwise you're going to short your batteries. So, next thing to do is, I've always found that if you fluff these up, you can put your top barrel on. And then you want to take something thin, so either the little screwdriver that you've been using, or a little bit of 22 gauge camphor or something like that. Just hook it in, and move your cotton around. You don't want it to block your juice holes, because like I said, I found this quite restrictive anyway, and it's not as effective as wicking, I found. So you obviously don't want to block off your juice holes, but you just want to sort of fluff your cotton up just so that it does catch the juice. And I'll tell you what else we'll do. I'll just turn that switch on. As this was a pre-built coil sent from Joyetech, we're going to see what the ohms are. It's a little bit jumpy. it's slightly a bit jumpy, so we're at 1 ohm pretty much. But I don't like how jumpy that is. We've leveled out at 1.6 ohms. So it's about a 1 ohm coil, which isn't, you know, that's not too bad. So what do we do to a sub-ohm coil? We prime it. So you get your juice in there, get it nice and soaked. Doesn't matter if you put a little bit too much in. And that's a quick rebuild on the RBA section. There's only really one more thing to do, guys, and that is attach it back to the Delta 2 and we can vape it. So we'll put it back together, open the air holes, that's the Delta 2 back together. Let's go back up to the top, I'll vape on it, we'll talk about it, and I'll give you my final thoughts. I'll see you in a sec, guys. So here we are, guys. I've put the Delta 2 with the RBA section back in, back on. Of course I put it back in, otherwise I wouldn't be vaping it, would I? I've put it onto the Saefty 100 watt plus, and just to kick it off, I've got this reading a 1.1 ohm coil at I've got it at 29.5 watts, and that is reading at 5.6 volts. So let's see what it does at 29 watts. I might have to knock this down a little bit, but let's show you what it can do. As you can see, it's still, the Delta 2 is still absolutely banging out the vapour. It's still got an amazing flavour. Sorry guys. I've got juice everywhere. It's still got amazing flavour, it's good vapour, good flavour. But I wanted it to work better. I know effectively what I've got is a K-fun that can sub-ohm. That's pretty much the basics behind it. It's turned into a rebuildable tank atomizer. You know, so it's a K-fun or your Limos or your Billow or your Goblin. It's effectively all the same now. But I still find it a little bit more restrictive than the stock heads. And I don't understand why. I don't know if it's just subliminal to me, or it is something to do with that. I mean, that's a stock head. This is a new one. Like I said, the airflow on it is exactly the same. Now, it's still the same sort of size hole. It's not much. There's no effective difference between it, except for like the juice control. The juice control flow on the stock head. So I don't know why I find it so restrictive. It's still kicking up. I can't remember the name of the guy, but there was a guy on YouTube that did a review on the RBA section. If I can find it, I'll link it in the video. And what he's done is he's taken his RBA section and he's drilled out the juice holes, so he's wicking more effectively, but he didn't say anything about a restrictive airflow. It's something I might try, and if I do get a better airflow out of it, obviously I'll report back. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I've got for you today, guys. There's not much else I can tell you. Like I said, it's just stainless steel construction. It comes straight from Joyetech. I got this from bongovapes.co.uk, again, link in the description. And I've got some other little bits there as well. Got some rebuildable stuff. Actually, I'll just show you that, just so I can show it off. Lovely little pair of scissors and some proper wire cutters. I'm not on nail clippers anymore. I've got a proper set of wire cutters, and these were only a couple of pounds each, so it's worth worth investing, guys. So again, going back to this, like I said, it's about a 304 grade stainless steel. Screws straight into your deck section. You do get a good amount of goodies with it. You know, you do get some more Canfor wire. You got that pre-built head, obviously, which is in there. That's built with Japanese cotton as well. You get your Japanese cotton with it. You get your faithful blue screwdrivers. Like I said, mine did come with spare screws as well. Don't know where they are. They're somewhere in the house. If not, they're in the rug downstairs, and I'm not trying to find them in that. So yeah, I mean, again, that's what I've got for you today, guys. Remember to stay off the stinkies, and vaping is the way forward. And there's my vape to say goodbye. See you again soon, guys.